For this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Swung on that. There it goes. Deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's tied the babe. It's a Judgian blast. His 60th home run of the year. Wow. All rise. Here comes the Judge.
And on the screen is a picture of Aaron Judge superimposed over the babe. Fastball right down the middle. What a picture on that scoreboard as Aaron Judge is running around. It's on the big scoreboard, but superimposed is him right over the babe with number 60.
Oh, it's fabulous. He's tied the babe. And that lasted a long time, that 60th home run.
Well, you knew it was going to happen with the Pirates and the Yankees, of course. But what a moment there. Aaron Judge actually reluctantly went out there for a curtain call because his team still had 3 runs to make up after that home run in the 9th inning. I was going to play the Giancarlo Stanton grand slam, the walk-off grand slam called by Sterling, but that's kind of secondary. That's secondary to the story from Aaron Judge hitting number 60 yesterday. I know a lot of our listeners, you're going to remember where you were or where you are when Albert Pujols cracks that 700th home run, which also is probably going to be against the Pittsburgh Pirates because they finished the season with 6 against the Cardinals. So things work themselves out very nicely here for, honestly, one of the most incredible seasons that we've ever seen, I think, on both ends here for somebody that is still in the prime of his career in Aaron Judge. I mean, if there's any debate on who the real MVP is of the American League, it's got to be over. I mean, I think it was over probably a few weeks ago, and it was obvious the Angels were not contending, and as outstanding as it is to see somebody like Shohei Ohtani dominate sometimes on the mound and at the plate, you just have to be in awe of what Aaron Judge is doing with a team that's winning, that isn't suffering through their 7th consecutive year with a losing record, that isn't going to be watching the playoffs at home, Ohtani does some amazing things. A lot of those happen in losses. Judge's home run yesterday wouldn't have been forgotten if Stanton wouldn't have hit that grand slam, but it does show it's a different situation with both of these teams here. And, on the other side here, so you got Judge in the prime of his career, absolute prime of his career. This guy, if we're not careful, is also going to get to 700 home runs in another 13, 14 years or so, if not a little bit more than that. And to be able to contrast that with the end of a career, also coming down with magical moments that Albert Pujols still probably has, he's still got a couple home runs left in him, don't you think? After what we've seen, it means he would finish with 21 for the season. So, hey, I know it is right here in the middle of week 4 of college football. But I wanted to start on the 60th home run by Aaron Judge. And I don't know if our listeners necessarily stand there and say, I'll remember where I was when Judge hit that 60 or the 61st or the 62nd. We don't view that record quite the same after the steroid era and Barry Bonds and McGuire and Sosa and everybody else that went into it. But there still is some reverence behind the idea of passing the Babe. I know you Cardinal fans will definitely remember where you are when Pujols hits number 700, and you probably remember where you were when he's hit these go-ahead home runs against the Cubs and the Pirates, and where you were when he hit 690. I just know for a fact that your nostalgia meter will always allow you to be there. I don't know if you view the Yankees quite that same way, but it's impossible not to at least take off your hat and acknowledge one of the greatest seasons in the history of the sport. It's crazy to think that in today's day and age, where this year the baseball has been manufactured differently than it was in previous years. There's actual analysis behind this. The ball is less springy in the core than it's been before. In this era where, pitchers have been searched, have had their belts checked. They're now getting their hair checked and their fingers touched and everything. And apparently they're still able to find some kind of substance to get those spin rates back up. Pitching has most definitely been more dominant in baseball, not just this year, but in the last few years too. And with all that said, with all that happening, with the evidence and the numbers, Aaron Judge is having an historic season, the kind that maybe we don't see for a long time, if ever again. And I mean, we've spoken quite a bit about Paul Goldschmidt maybe being a guy who could win a National League Triple Crown. Well, Goldschmidt has fallen behind now in batting average and in runs batted in and in home runs. He doesn't lead in either of the three categories. And of course, the Triple Crown, I don't think it necessarily means what we think that it used to mean, but home runs, RBIs, batting average still carry some weight. And Aaron Judge is now leading in all three of those categories in the American League. He is not just somebody like a Kyle Schwarber, who is a grip and rip. And if you make contact, well, you're lucky because you had your eyes closed and all you're looking to do is to hit home runs anyway. In fact, over half of Kyle Schwarber's base hits have gone for extra bases. So, I mean, he is specifically just looking to hit the ball over the fence, and if he happens to hit it high and hard and gets a double out of it, well, he was trying to hit a home run anyway. Not like Aaron Judge is not trying to hit home runs, but just putting together an amazing year. We're routinely seeing now the power hitters in baseball accept batting averages, on-base percentages that are very low, incredibly low. Schwarber's hitting .215 with a .313 on-base percentage. Nobody's ever going to characterize those numbers as good numbers in any aspect, no matter the fact that he's hit 40 home runs. But he's in the lineup to hit those 40 home runs. Aaron Judge is a do-it-all ball player. I don't like the Yankees. I've never liked the Yankees. I'll never be able to root for the Yankees in a way that's not maybe selfish. The only time I ever rooted for the New York Yankees up front and in person was in the 2004 playoffs because I had tickets to the World Series at Yankee Stadium. I just wanted to go see the World Series. That's the only reason I rooted for them that year in those playoffs. That was it. Otherwise, I would root for New York to lose every single game they play and then see how the fan base takes that. But if you love sports and you love singular achievements, the kind of achievement that you would stand and look at and say, you know what, we might not ever see anything like this again. And this would be the exact same way that I'm viewing the St. Louis Cardinals. If you know me, you know I'm no Cardinals fan growing up in Pittsburgh. But I really appreciate what Albert Pujols is doing and really what that Cardinals team is doing at the same time for a fan base that loves them through and through. They're enjoyable to watch. I might not like the outcome at the end, but gosh, that team plays the game right. They've got dirt dogs. They're fun to watch. Tommy Edman, I could have watched him play in any era at all. Same with Goldschmidt. Same with Molina. Same with Adam Wainwright, and certainly same with Albert Pujols. And with Aaron Judge and with the Yankees, well, forget about the Yankees as a team in this case. It's all about the singular achievement of one person who now for the first time in our lifetimes, you have a guy who has hit 60 home runs and nobody is questioning the actual achievement behind it. Even back in 1961, there was a question about would Maris have been able to hit 60 or 61 home runs in 154 games instead of 162? Could he have done that in a year that didn't involve two new Major League franchises watering down supposedly the pitching? You know what we think about the 60 to 70 home run seasons from Sosa, from McGuire, from Bonds, 1998 up through 2001. Chemically enhanced. You don't erase those out of the record book, but you know for a fact that those home run seasons, which are singular, occurred in a 3 or 4 year period because of chemistry and because the guys were good hitters too. I don't know what they said for Babe Ruth in 1927 when he hit his 60th home run. I did read that he said, "That's 60 of them, count them. I can't wait to see if some other son of a gun can match it." Well, this is the first time since 1927, and back then, I don't think people were necessarily questioning the idea that Ruth didn't hit against African-American pitchers. The African-American pitchers did question it. American society as a whole, I don't think did. It's not to say that there aren't questions behind would Ruth have been able to hit 60 if he was hitting against some of the other great pitchers that weren't allowed to play Major League Baseball at that time. But here it is, 2022. We've been through all of the questions of could he have been able to do this under so-and-so circumstances. There are no questions about Aaron Judge, other than the fact, how can a guy that's almost 6'9" steal bases, play the outfield as well as he does, and basically carry a franchise on his shoulders with 55,000 people in attendance every single night? Albert Pujols isn't doing that because he's got a good team around him. The Yankees right now, well, they're Aaron Judge and a few other guys behind him that I don't really come to mind right now. 877-377-6963 to get with us on Halftime. It is a busy Wednesday with Drew Barrett and Matty T alongside. We have Grant Hall coming up in just a moment. We'll talk a little bit about this Aaron Judge achievement and the Pirates fitting into it just so perfectly. We'll definitely be previewing Arkansas, Texas A&M, not just with Grant, but with the voice of Aggies football, basketball, and baseball. Andrew Monaco took over the play-by-play chair from Dave South 3 years ago. Does a great job. Great guy. He joins us at 12:15. And then Bill King for an around-the-world chat of college football in hour number 3. Plus your calls and texts. Lots to get to, and we'll come back with Grant Hall on Halftime next.
The Kawasaki Good Times Demo Tour is back on the road and making a stop at Wheeler Power Sports. On October the 7th and 8th, you can test drive bikes like the Z900, KLR 650, and many more. Wheeler Power Sports is the country's 9th oldest Kawasaki dealership, and they are stoked to bring you the Kawasaki Good Times Demo Tour for their 55th anniversary party. So mark your calendars and keep the good times rolling. Bike availability subject to change. Motorcycle license required for test drive. See WheelerPowersports.com for more details.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. You need a sports book with integrity and longevity, and you need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BetUS. Join now and mention ESPN Arkansas, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
Would you like to cut your utility bills without cutting comfort? Stay cool and save while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system. Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs since 1968. J&B Supply with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Calling all fans of flavor, there's something new at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Fridays Fajitas. Fajitas you love in bold new flavors like dynamite shrimp, tandoori chicken, and the spicier whiskey glaze blaze Tex-Mex. Right now, get free chips and queso with any Fajitas order. Dine in or order online for curbside pickup at Fridays.com. New Fridays Fajitas at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Are you ready to ride like a rock star? Then contact Luxury Limousines. They're 28-foot stretch limousines set up to 8 people. Once you're inside, enjoy superior sound, enhanced lighting, ice-cold AC, plus your own chauffeur to take you anywhere. College games, concerts, special events, and the upcoming Christmas holiday light tours. Just go to Facebook and like Luxury Limousine. Serving Fort Smith and all of Northwest Arkansas. Luxury Limousines.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
We're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting every time you're near.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Grant Hall joining us. Wednesday morning. Appreciate Grant's time whenever he can give it to us. Grant, how you doing today? What's new?
Well, I'm getting ready to go up to Pinnacle after a while in Rogers and see some more LPGA golfers. The tournament doesn't start till Friday, but was there yesterday, and it's interesting when it's 95 degrees. You'd be amazed how many people don't want to stay out there too long. But there was Danielle Kang on the back range for a couple of hours, and reminded me all the way back to 1977 when the U.S. Open was in Tulsa. There were 2 guys on the range after their rounds in 100-degree weather, Curtis Strange and Hale Irwin, and between them they won 5 U.S. Opens. So, I don't know what to make of that, but Lydia Ko was out there playing. Saw Stacey Lewis a little bit, Gabby Lopez, and as you know, Arkansas has a lot of players past and current.
Grant, what's your strategy when you're covering a golf tournament? Do you stay at one hole specifically? Do you kind of wander around from green to green? You try to stay inside on a weekend like we might be getting soon. How do you cover this?
Phil, this is the 16th year of this thing, and I used to go around the course 2-3 times a day and see every single thing I could see. And like yesterday, it pretty much was holes number 1 and 2 and the 10 and 11, and then the range, and then go back inside into the air-conditioned, safety of the clubhouse. So, yeah, but it's still a lot of fun. It's fun to watch Allison Lee a little bit and different ones. But today they're having pro-ams today and tomorrow. And last night they had a champions dinner that they do this, and the families of the champions are welcome, and they had it at Top Golf. And so I have not ever hit from Top Golf, the one here, but I think the bays are air conditioned, so that was probably bearable.
Wait a minute, Grant. Like, I mean, when I think of Grant Hall, I think of someone who covers the Razorbacks for a long time, knows his baseball well, and golf. So you're telling me that it's still new, it's still newish, Top Golf and Rogers, that you haven't been there yet. I guess it's not. It's not. You're more of a golf. I don't think there is such a thing as a baseball purist. Maybe there's such a thing as a golf purist, and I guess Top Golf might not necessarily be for the golf purist. Would that be accurate?
Oh, I think it's probably like my son Jason has been there. Family events and things like. I'd rather play a golf course. So, but I'm sure it's fun.
Oh, it's especially for folks like me, who can't play the regular game. And that would be the same as batting cages. We can go to the batting cage, we can hit, try to put us in an actual game. Things might be a little bit different because you're not just getting fastballs, down the gut, pitch after pitch. Judge hits his 60th yesterday. I remember where I was when McGuire broke Maris's record. I was getting into my friend's Dodge LeBaron on Forbes Avenue in Pittsburgh, right in front of the squirrel cage. I'll never forget it because we were listening to it. I didn't see it happen until I saw the replay, and we were listening to it. I'll never forget that. People aren't quite the same Phil, with Judge once he gets past Maris.
Yeah, I was in St. Louis about 25 feet away from where that thing. I was in foul territory sitting with Scott Edgar, a former UA assistant basketball coach, that night. And actually, my family had been there the day before to see number 61, I guess. I was thinking about this, Phil. Judge did this in 150 games. And back when Maris was the big deal in 1961 was could Maris do this in 154 games rather than 162? And so they actually cut in to network programming. And as you know, now this is way before ESPN and for the networks to do that, and they were playing Baltimore, and was it Old Memorial Stadium? Is that right? And he hit about 5 balls that night that could have been home runs, couple to the track, couple foul, and he hit one, and so he ended up with 59 in 154 games, and then he hit 2 more. I guess he hit the last one in the last game of the season off Tracy Stallers. So a lot of people, because this is non-steroid, they think, and it's American League record, it's kind of a big deal.
Now, I remember that home run where McGuire took over Maris because it was like the shortest home run of his season and just barely snuck over that left field fence. It was a little low-line drive. And I remember seeing the replays of Maris hitting his 61st against Stallard at Yankee Stadium, and the shocking thing about it is you notice the Yankee Stadium had barely even half full for that game.
Oh, I think it was 11,000 or maybe it was 20,000. Yeah, it wasn't. There weren't many people there. The one you mentioned with McGuire, Mike Shannon said one time that's the only line drive home run all year that he hit like that.
That's why they did the whole Big Macland thing out there in the upper deck in left field, because all McGuire did was hit. I mean, I'm just saying this. He hit 3,000-foot pop-ups essentially that just left the yard. It was much different with that last one. With Pujols, so you get this amazing season where you've got Aaron Judge chasing Maris. Now he's in the front line for a triple crown. I mean, you're putting together the kind of season that we've never seen anything like this before. And on the Judge is in the prime of his career. Maybe in 15 years we're talking about him cracking 700 or passing the Babe as far as lifetime home runs. And now you got Pujols at the very end of his career, 2 home runs away from 700. And man, it would just be so perfect if he hits 700 against the Pirates, just like Judge hit 60th. And I think they play again today. So of course he's going to tie Maris against the Pirates. But I just love this, what we've got here. We've got a guy in the prime of his career who's doing amazing things, having a singularly exceptional season. And then you got a guy like Pujols who just woke up, after 10 years or so and remembered, what he used to be like against lefties.
Well, the Cardinals only have 3 home games left. Now, ideally you'd like to see it at home, but then they've gotten it pretty close. Maybe he can do it somewhere on the road, but, that's They right now they've got termites in the bat rack. They got shut out, I think, last night, and no one's really hitting very much. And when going into postseason, you'd like to see them gin that thing back up, because if Goldschmidt and Arenado aren't hitting, it seems like it affects everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Arkansas A&M Saturday at Jerry World. I mean, everybody wants to point out the deficiencies on the Arkansas defense as far as tackling and receivers running free in the secondary. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd be surprised if A&M has some huge day passing. I mean, it's been 3 games in a row allowing 300 yards or more, and part of it is that opponents, haven't been able to run the ball, so they're going to try to move it another way. Aggies have had like 0 success passing. I mean, 0. They've had the last 2 games under 200 yards passing. They got over 300 against Sam Houston State, but I'm not even going to count that. So I'm expecting Arkansas's defense to – I'm not going to tell you they're going to shut A&M out. I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game, though.
I watched a little bit of their game last week, and they, maybe not enough credit to them for beating the number 13 team, and who knows by the end of the year where they'll all be. But, this for whatever reason, Texas A&M is a 2.5-point favorite. And I think mostly that's because of the way Arkansas struggled last week before that, 21-0 fourth quarter. You've got here, and you mentioned this yesterday, I think the Razorbacks are leading in sacks but last in pass defense or yards allowed. So getting the Slusher back should help some, maybe help a lot, who knows. But it's going to be, this game is going to be really interesting because each team needs to win it to get where they want to go,
Mm-hmm. Now, for A&M, there's a lot of discussion about the quarterback position, about, has Jimbo been able to build the right team down there? And Grant, I'm starting to really question how good of a coach is Jimbo Fisher. I mean, he's known as this quarterback guru, hasn't had a great quarterback since Jameis Winston. He's known as this offensive genius. They haven't scored 20 points since week 1. How good of a coach actually is Jimbo Fisher?
Well, he's in year 5 there, and re-upped recently for what was it, $95 million? I don't know. I think a lot of guys have been expected to light it up at Texas A&M. Jackie Sherrill was supposed to be the savior there, and he had some success, but probably not what they wanted. I think Jimbo, at Florida State, thrived when he had really good quarterbacks, and he hasn't really had that at Texas A&M. He had, they had Johnny Manziel there for a while, but I think the returns are out on the guy, and if they have another 8-4 type season, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And by the way, did you see today, guys, that with this contract running out for the Arkansas-Texas A&M game at Arlington, the expectation maybe is that Arkansas continues that with somebody else. And so I was thinking that's probably not going to be a conference. I mean, would Texas give away a home game? Would Arkansas when Texas gets in the league? So maybe you see an Oklahoma State game, something like that. What do you think?
Man, I mean, it's an interesting thought. I just don't know about the idea of because I would imagine it would be, you're not going to ask an opponent to sign on with you and say, hey, by the way, this is your home game. I mean, you continuously give up home games. I know they're not going to be playing. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing. Not going to be playing at War Memorial after 2024 any longer, and so maybe that's the one game a year. But it just seems to me that, I thought the athletic department would place a pretty heavy emphasis on actual home games in Fayetteville now, that there's an importance to that. So, I mean, I guess I'd be surprised if you signed continue playing some kind of a series in AT&T Stadium. And I guess if there's a school out there, you already got them on the schedule. It's Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I think that would make some sense. Or maybe you try to play different good intersectional teams each year. I don't know what but I do think Jerry has a lot of stroke at Arkansas. He's given a lot of money to this school, and if he really would like that to continue, they might do it. But that'll be interesting to see what happens there.
It's got to be Oklahoma State then. I mean, travel to Little Rock to watch him play West Carolina next year. That's a different thing. You know, I don't think you're going to ask an FCS team to play you in an NFL stadium. I don't think you're going to ask, Rice to come up and play you in an NFL stadium, especially one that seats almost 100,000. You got to sell these tickets, for crying out loud. There's not 100,000 Razorback fans that are going to show up for this.
No, and the first 2 years they had really good crowds, and then they started leveling off. Of course, Arkansas lost the game 9 years in a row, but that would be another factor, is what they thought the prospects would be of having great crowds each year. And crowds are sort of down everywhere because of saturation television, right?
That's right. All right, how much are you going to eat at the media buffet on Saturday? Because I'm going to tell you what, out of all the media buffets that I've been to, there is nothing quite like being at the Southwest Classic, or any Cowboys game for that matter. So I'm showing up hungry.
Yeah, a little Tex-Mex, you think?
Well, they always. They've got 3-course things with dessert for the pregame meal. A whole new batch of things show up in the halftime meal. It's like, the smart media member knows exactly when to be hungry at AT&T Stadium. Grant, we'll talk with you about it again next. Appreciate you hopping on. Thank you as always for your time.
All right, thanks. See you.
And at Grant Hall, we appreciate him joining us here on Wednesdays. It's just all right. So you're throwing a continuous bone to Central Arkansas by scheduling even 2 more games at War Memorial Stadium, and then more than anything else, it feels like it's just all right. We hear you. Here's an FCS game, here's an in-state game, and then we'll see you up in Fayetteville for the rest of time. You're not throwing Jerry Jones a bone. There aren't bones to throw that man. You bring him an opponent that's going to sell tickets too. The only one I can think of that is on the schedule right now too is Oklahoma State. We'll see if that happens. And we will be behind enemy lines for Arkansas A&M this weekend in Arlington, brought to you by Century Bank of the Ozarks, local bankers making local decisions since 1894. 877-377-6963. Back with more halftime after this.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-489-5660. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-489-5660 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-489-5660 to see if you qualify. That's 800-489-5660.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
This is Abby with Davis Floor Covering. Get your home or office looking its best for this football season with new flooring from Davis Floor Covering. Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, ceramic, porcelain tile, or luxury vinyl planks, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs with brands such as Bow Floors and flooring supplies from Mapei. And let's get started on beautifying your office or home. We even do countertops. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. Davis Floor Covering with 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Call 452-4808.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Goodness gracious, what is happening in the world here? I mean, this executive from Beyond Meat biting a man's nose in the parking lot at Razorback Stadium is the third top trending story on my Apple News app right now. I mean, you get people cooking chicken in cold medicine, for crying out loud. And I don't know if you've heard about this cheating scandal from the world of chess, but it's the sort of thing that belongs on the air at midnight to 2 a.m. in the morning. Not really the kind of thing you're going to bring up at like 11:35 on a Wednesday morning on a family-oriented radio show. You haven't heard about that?
No, I haven't heard about it.
You don't pay too much attention to chess, do you?
No, I can't say that I'm up on the trends.
All right, I'll get into the details with you later on. Just grit your teeth once we get to it, okay? Because it might make you cringe just a tiny little bit. Maybe Colton and Cole Hill can explain to me what's happening in the world these days. Colton, what's going on? Thanks for the call. You're on halftime.
Hey, man. Nice to talk to y'all guys. Got a couple things, and I used to play some chess back in high school, but I cannot tell you nothing about what goes on in the world of chess these days. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I'm going to guarantee you, Colton, I'm going to guarantee you never played chess the way that these people have. That's a guarantee.
Well, I can't say I figured out a way to cheat and rig the system, or anything, but, And I got a couple things, though. One is, what kind of momentum do you think if we go in down to Jerry's World and pull out a win, what kind of momentum do you think that carries into Bama at home? And then I know it's a little early to be thinking, but kind of looking ahead. And since you're a baseball guy, what do you think is coming down the pipe for the Hogs in the baseball world?
Well, like 66% new team for baseball. So I'm not exactly
it's gonna
sure.
It's definitely going to be a new thing. We had to fill a lot of positions we were really strong in. We lost a lot of good guys.
I mean, you're almost completely remaking the lineup, save for two guys that were in that lineup game by game, Stovall and Brady Slavens. Hopefully Kendall Diggs can take over one of those spots, whether it's third base or DH. It looked like he's got the kind of pitch recognition and patience and power potential to really pay some dividends. I think the pitching is going to be great. I think it's going to be really good. That's where most of your returners come from. I think you got the makings of a really fine starting rotation, whomever it is they land on, because there's 4 or 5 pitchers that they're looking at right now, maybe more. Bullpen ought to be solid. I think Arkansas ought to be really salty on the mound. Everything else, I don't know enough about yet to really generate any sort of an opinion. I just know for a fact that Dave Van Horn, Matt Hobbs, Nate Thompson, and the staff always recruit well. They've hit on 1 or 2 or 3 transfers every year, but there's like 28 transfers, whether JUCO or 4-year players, and then there's the freshman class coming in. So it's kind of I'm in wait and see mode since it's late September, and we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, I mean I know it's way early, but I'd like to get that thought rolling. To kind of get as much as I love football, and I've kind of recently came around to liking basketball. I never truly understood the game until the last year or two, so I wasn't a big fan. But baseball's always been kind of tied to my heart. I didn't get to play a lot growing up, couldn't really afford a lot, travel or anything. But my grandpa was pretty big back in the 40s, had some offers in the minor leagues, and I never really got to meet my grandpa much, so I've always kind of used baseball as my link to him, But
well, I get that, man. There's going to be a nostalgic link between family and I think any sport, and I think for you it's baseball. For me it is too. And that makes you and me simpatico, Colton. Appreciate the phone call. The baseball team ought to be just fine, just because they usually are. They always are. Unless it's 2016, they're going to be fine. I think they'll be good. I don't know where to go after that. For momentum, momentum, Drew, is a funny thing to think about sometimes, because you thought you had momentum going into Georgia last year after beating Texas A&M, right? That was the going theory. You've got momentum because you just took down a team that had beaten you, forget if it was 7 or 8 years in a row, whatever it is, and you did it in a way that left no doubt, played physically, and then, oh, by the way, we've got game day in Athens, and this place has 95,000 screaming fans with a decibel level up to 120, and the momentum idea just kind of fell apart. That momentum meant nothing, absolutely nothing, especially in the first 5 minutes of the game, where false start, 3 and out, 21-0, ball game, and you still had like 55 minutes left in the game. Mm-hmm. So that momentum didn't mean a thing. It's a home game after A&M now. All right, so there is something to be said that I don't know if momentum necessarily you can take on the road on a place like Sanford Stadium, but I think in a place like Fayetteville, which is going to be sold out for Alabama, which is going to be 2:30 CBS. Who knows if game day will be there or not, because they got an SEC game this weekend that they're attending, but who cares? Arkansas, Alabama, if all things, Alabama's going to take care of Vanderbilt. Can we feel pretty sure about this? Yes. Arkansas, I still don't know why they're an underdog against A&M. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think Arkansas is going to beat the Aggies. I think you're going to have some momentum going into Alabama, and I think it does mean a little bit because it's home, because it's a home game. And it's not going to Tuscaloosa, which I'm not sure if you'd be able to take momentum there. But at home, in front of that crowd, which already has paid dividends in 2 out of 3 games, penalties, that you can point to the opponent and say, that happened because of these people in the stands. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you can take some momentum from that.
Well, I like to use a different word than momentum. I think it's confidence. I think you can bring in confidence more than just momentum, because let's face it, in a sport like football, it's hard to, say that there's legitimate momentum when you play a week. There's a full week between games. You see it in baseball, you see it in basketball, where you see a lot of back-to-back days where you can carry that into the next day. It's hard to carry, full-on momentum from, previous week all the way through an entire game week. So I think it's more of a confidence thing that you're able to bring from beating another top 25 team in A&M, from being 4-0 again, from moving up, probably be somewhere, depending on how everything goes in front of you, somewhere around 7-8, the exact same spot you were last year. So I think it builds confidence. I'm not sure about momentum, though, just because of the time frame between the games. But you have the confidence that you can win against anybody because you've beaten 2 top 25 teams. You have the confidence that the crowd will be behind you and that they can help propel you in some tough times. So I think the word there, really what Colton, I think, was more referring to was confidence.
There's context in the idea of momentum within the game in and of itself. And maybe you build up confidence as a game continues, and you know the game plan was right. You're making plays, your teammates are making plays around you. You got your opponent on their heels, and yeah, there's confidence within that too. But I think you're right about that. Like, there's only look, I think Arkansas took plenty of confidence into Sanford Stadium last year. I think they did. I think they felt good about the game plan and everything else going into it, never mind the fact that that was a number one team in the nation across from you. But that confidence didn't really mean anything on that day. Sometimes it's a matter of the opponent too, right? And the site you're playing, that can have a lot to do with it in that case.
Everybody's got a plan and confidence until they get punched in the mouth, and Arkansas got punched in the mouth real early last year.
That's right. And, I mean, there is a difference between momentum and confidence. Maybe one helps lead to the other in some cases. But, yeah, I mean, you know, in baseball they'll say what? Momentum is only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. Maybe in football it has a lot to do with, you know, where your next game is played and who it is you're playing against. Just so happens that week 4 or week 5 for 2 years in a row is against either a number 1 team in the nation or a number 2 team in the nation. So we'll see about that. Eduardo has called us. So let's take the phone call from Eduardo before we take our final break here before the reset. Eduardo, hair on fire, momentum, confidence, feeling good. How are you?
I'm still feeling confident, sir. And that's my message to the fan base and to this football program, especially the defensive secondary. We got some young players. Listen here. You just got to step up. You got to, and I believe you can do that. You got to trust in one another like I told them on the morning rush. You got to go out. When we take the Hog train to Arlington, when you step out on that playing field, whoa! And bring the play to the Aggies. Don't let the Aggies dictate to you. And you can do it. Simeon Blair, wake up out there. Hudson Clark, wake up. Your team needs you. Johnson, wake up out there. You're young, but you're strong. And you're aboard the Hog train. This fan base is behind you. As I told them on the morning rush, gentlemen, I'm still aboard the Hog train. That's my beat this morning. Listen here. We're 3-0. You just faced one of the best offensive coordinators in the country. Bobby Petrino can line up a lot of defenses. And now we got an opportunity to take on the $75 million man and the Aggies. This game is huge. And I believe the winner of this game is for one team, it's going to get the train rolling. For the other, it might derail a little bit. And I believe the Hot train is going to leave Arlington. And with the whistle blowing, that we get the secondary pumped up. And exactly this, gentlemen, 6 years to the day. I wish they'd let me go out in front of Jerry's World again. Of course, we lost that day in overtime under Brett Bielema. But let me say this. I believe in this team. I believe in these coaches. I believe in these players. And I went into my jukebox today. And this fits this team perfect. I went to my Bob Seger collection. I said it before. Turn the page. And for these young players...
Eddie, it's great to hear from you, man. I mean, I hear a little bit of a crack in your throat there. Just a little advice to help you out for all the other calls that you make is gargle with salt water, and that ought to help the back of your throat feel a little better, because I noticed a little grumble going on back there, and I just also had a thought here for Eddie. Like, this is a good money-making opportunity. I think Eddie could he calls the morning rush, right, on a routine basis, Drew?
Not as much as he calls us, but...
Does it wake you up when he does, whatever time it is? Can you imagine a phone call from Eddie and Clark from Eduardo at like 6:30 in the morning? What we all need, especially for Saturday,
the Eddie alarm app?
Eduardo in Clarksville alarm app. Get you up with a number of different screams and grunts and non-punctuation laced tirades involving the Razorbacks, which we always appreciate from Eduardo, Mr. Alarm Clock. We've got a new nickname for him. Quick break on halftime. Drew's got a reset next.
See, here I am on the road again. There I am up on the stage. Here I go playing star again. There I go, turn the page.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, and as we wrap up the first hour of halftime, the aforementioned Drew Barrett with our first reset.
Reset and refresh. Reset.
The great reset.
It's time for the halftime reset, giving you all the info and facts you need to make it through the rest of your day in sports.
False start. Both teams back on a get back here.
Now, here's Drew Barrett with your halftime reset.
If you're just now joining us, Aaron Judge, he hit number 60 last night, tying the Babe.
The Sultan of Swat. The King of Crash. The Colossus of Clout. The Colossus of Clout.
Babe Ruth! The Great Bambino!
Oh my God, they're the same guy. Last night at Yankee Stadium against the Pirates. Here's how it sounded from John Sterling.
The 3-1. Swung on that. There it goes. Deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's tied the Babe. It's a Judgian blast. His 60th home run of the year. Wow. All rise. Here comes the Judge.
And Aaron Judge met with the media last night. Here's how he feels about reaching the number 60.
It's tough to say because you don't, like I said, I don't think about it. I don't think about the numbers. And when you talk about Ruth and Maris and Mantle and all these Yankees greats that did so many great things in this game. You never imagine as a kid getting mentioned with them, but it's an incredible honor. And something I don't take lightly at all.
As right now, Aaron Judge leads the American League in batting average, hitting .316, home runs 60, and RBIs with 128. He's pretty much a lock for RBIs and home runs, but if he can hold off Xander Bogaerts, who's hitting .315, he'll win the Triple Crown. He's also has a shot tonight for number 61 in the Bronx against the Pirates. Canada likely will drop its vaccine requirements for people who enter the country by the end of September, according to multiple reports yesterday. The move will impact unvaccinated professional athletes who could not travel there, so just in time for the playoffs in Major League Baseball. And that is your Hour 1 reset.
It's also just in time for the NHL to allow cross-border travel again.
And NBA.
And the Yankee comeback against the Pirates yesterday, they were down 4 runs in the 9th inning. Pirates pitchers recorded 0 outs and gave up 5 runs. That's one of the bigger 9th inning comebacks of the year. Very Pirates of you, Pirates. Very well done. 877-377-6963 as we get into the second hour on a Wednesday. It's halftime.
Save up to $8,000 off on a great pre-owned vehicle at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. The manager specials are right on the front row. These are wonderful vehicles. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Many still have factory warranty remaining with discounts up to $8,000 off. And at Harry Robinson, you always get more for your trade. These savings and the best selection on pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs is at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Show your hometown pride with a School Spirit debit card from First Star Bank. Each time you make a purchase with your School Spirit debit card, First Star will make a donation to your school district. You make a purchase, they make a donation. Everyone wins. Support your school with First Star Bank's School Spirit debit card. First Star Bank has donated over $100,000 to local schools through the School Spirit program. Debit cards may be ordered online at firststar.bank.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Are you ready to ride like a rock star? Then contact Luxury Limousines. They're 28-foot stretch limousines set up to 8 people. Once you're inside, enjoy superior sound, enhanced lighting, ice-cold AC, plus your own chauffeur to take you anywhere. College games, concerts, special events, and the upcoming Christmas holiday light tours. Just go to Facebook and like Luxury Limousine. Serving Fort Smith and all of Northwest Arkansas. Luxury Limousines.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon, mid to upper 90s. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, upper 60s. Sunny with falling temperatures on Thursday. It'll be in the upper 70s north, right around the upper 80s south. Sunshine highs in the low to mid 80s on Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Proceed. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
So we had a couple of schedules released. I know we had the football schedule released yesterday. Basketball came out earlier today with times and television channels to watch it on. So you get it all out there for you. You know, you're basically your next 12, 13, 14, about 15 months are planned for you if you build your life around Razorback athletics. I guess we don't know all of the start times of the baseball games yet for 23, but they're working on it. Remember, we just had the schedule rescinded from the SEC for 23 because somebody forgot that Arkansas, Tennessee was supposed to be a weekend in Fayetteville this year and instead put on something that was a lot more boring, not as exciting, Arkansas, Mizzou. So we still haven't gotten the new baseball schedule. We got one that was a lie from the SEC office last week, an out-and-out lie, and we're still waiting for the real one. It's like, what else did you need to know? You scheduled Arkansas, Mizzou, not Arkansas, Tennessee, so put the Tennessee series in where the Mizzou series was, and then we can have our schedule again. Nobody's done it yet. It's because they've been so focused on placing in everything involving football for 2023 and for basketball as far as your TV partners and your tip-off times are concerned. So basketball comes up first because that will start in November. And, hey, worst kept secret, Arkansas, Kentucky was going to be the CBS, the last regular season CBS game that is showed before CBS starts showing tournament games. And that is, of course, the Kentucky game on Saturday, March the 4th. Will be a 1 p.m. tip at Bud Walton Arena and will be the only game that Arkansas plays on CBS until the national tournament. Outside of that, I mean, you know, you're on ESPN, you're on the Deuce, or you're on the SEC Network for every single game. So the only game that hasn't had a start time attached to it is the Baylor game. I guess that'll depend upon basically how everybody in the SEC that is in this Big 12 challenge is doing, and the same thing with the Big 12 schools. But I can't imagine that Arkansas Baylor might not also. I guess CBS doesn't show those games because it's an ESPN production. They do that.
But it could be the Saturday night blockbuster game is what they call it, yeah.
I would think it would be at least one of them that they would look to put for a primetime game. So basketball schedule's out there at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. And the football schedule came out too. So, I mean, the first thing you have to notice when you see the schedule is Arkansas doesn't play a home game from after week 3 until October the 21st. So, I mean, you're playing 4 consecutive games. That's a month's worth away from Reynolds Razorback Stadium. And you're opening, you don't even have a league game at home until a couple of weeks before, or a little less than 2 weeks before Halloween. This has got to be, I mean, I have to look back at some of the recent schedules because of playing in Jerry World and playing in Little Rock. I know there have been other years where you might have had just, 3 SEC home games that are scheduled. And Arkansas is supposed to be the home team for next year's Southwest Classic. So Arkansas loses the home game next year. But you only have 3 home games of SEC teams coming into Fayetteville next year. Mississippi State, October the 21st. Auburn on November 11th, and Mizzou on November the 25th. I mean, that is not – BYU will be an interesting home game for sure. You know, Kent State, whatever, Florida International, whatever. It is not the most exciting or sexy home schedule for next year. But, I mean, I guess you kind of expect that. Arkansas has to go to Florida, at Alabama, at LSU, and at Ole Miss. I mean, you're going on the road to some of the tougher places to play. And didn't Arkansas go to Florida in the 2020 season too?
I saw
that's not taken into account at all.
I saw a tweet earlier today. I can't remember who it was from, but said that the last 3 out of the last 4 meetings between Arkansas and Florida, dating back to 2009, have all been in Gainesville, including this one. So it's been a while.
It's moronic. I mean, it's 3 years after Arkansas and Florida played to begin with at Florida Field. And now 3 years later, they're going to be back at Florida Field on November the 4th. And who knows what Billy Napier's going to have that program looking like, you know, at that point. And we'll be deep into the second season. But, I mean, that is one of the tougher places to go and play. I think Arkansas, you wouldn't have figured that out 2 years ago in 2020 because you weren't allowed to have sellouts then in that pandemic-shortened season. But, yeah, I mean, if you keep paying attention to the way that these schedules come out, you know, the 2020 schedule seemed unfair to Arkansas. I'm not going to say last year was, but you did have to play Georgia back-to-back years. I mean, they couldn't have given Arkansas Vanderbilt on the road or something like that, you know, get Vandy 2 years in a row or Vandy 2 out of 4 years. No, Arkansas gets Florida on the road instead, and no SEC real home game until October the 21st. And so, I mean, this just goes to show another reason, a whole nother reason that we've already gotten into of why you're not going to be playing this A&M game at Jerry World any longer once the contract is over. Jimbo Fisher and Sam Pittman can say all the right things about, you know, Cowboys Stadium, NFL Stadium. You dream in playing in front of us in a stadium like that. I mean, Jimbo even said at his press conference, I didn't hear Sam Pittman say this, because they've got more Texas kids on the team in Aggie Town than Arkansas does, but it's so they play. They dream of playing in that stadium. And then he said, and then a lot of them play in the stadium for the state championship game. So they've already played in it. They've already played inside the state. They've already been underneath his giant scoreboard. They've already, well, I don't know how many of the players are walking around the areas that are more like an art museum, but the fans might, you know, take notice of all this stuff. I mean, the newness wore off a long time ago, and it's not to say that the players don't walk into, you know, onto the field and get hit by this feeling of, oh wow, this is what I watch on Sundays. This is where the Cowboys play. This is where Dak Prescott has to watch instead of play right now. But what's also to say they don't say the exact same thing about going into Bryant-Denny or going into Tiger Stadium in LSU. Everybody talks about Saturday night in Baton Rouge for good reason, because it's a singularly unique atmosphere. It's the same at Georgia. You know, you could say that about a lot of places that Arkansas plays, including Razorback Stadium. Like, how many of these kids grew up around Arkansas and was just watching the Razorbacks every Saturday and thinking, I can play there. I can play there. I mean, maybe they would say, I'd love to play in the Cowboy Stadium too. So the home game matters more. It matters more. And I think it always should, especially when it comes to the SEC in and of itself. Now, I mean, admittedly, this series initially was signed to play at the Cowboy Stadium when A&M was still in the Big 12. And we weren't thinking, hey, they're going to join the SEC, and it's going to be an actual league game where somebody gives up a home game every single year. It's cool to play in an NFL stadium. It's cool to play in the home of the Cowboys. It's cool to play in a stadium that, one of your alumni built and put all his money down for, and it paid off richly for him in many ways. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a really good thing for the program anyway, because I think you'd like to have that first SEC home game next year in September instead of October 21st.
Yeah, you definitely do. I think that this is more. I think the players still enjoy it. I mean, who wouldn't want to play in a stadium like that? I mean, it's got to be fun. I think that it's really run its course for fans and for people, and it needs to be more on a every third year type of basis, to where it's like, how can I miss you if you don't leave, right? How can I miss that environment? How can I really want to be back in that environment if there's not been a good amount of time since the last time I was there? I think if this thing was on like a 3-year rotation where it's College Station, Fayetteville, Arlington, College Station, Fayetteville, Arlington, and keep that rotation type of thing going, I think a lot more people would be more interested in playing a game at Jerry's World. Same with War Memorial. I think that if you did just one every 3 years or one every other year, then it might build something back up. The nostalgia will come back. But until you get enough time distance between being there and making it, an actual appointment to go to it, because let's be honest, you've been playing this game for over a decade now in Jerry's World. If you were going to go and you haven't gone, guess what? You weren't going. You've had plenty of opportunities to go. You're not waiting for one more year saying 2023 is finally the year. I've been saving up since 2011 to go to this game in Jerry's World. Everybody who's wanted to go to this matchup in Arlington has gone. So what's really the point?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, we'll be there this Saturday, by the way, too. And it's being presented by Ag Up Equipment, celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. Ag Up Equipment, 16 locations across Arkansas and Mississippi. Find a location near you at agup.com. They're an official John Deere dealer, and they don't sell maybe at Ag Up. It's agup.com. Yeah, and we can continue like the whole conversation about home games on an annual basis once and if the SEC does go to 9 games, because then half the league has 4 home games every year and the other half is 5. I mean, in the NFL, they're dealing with this too, moving up to the 17-game schedule. The next year, you'll get your 9 home games, and the same idea will happen in the SEC. But Reese Davis yesterday, I thought, it's a valid point, if not a little pie in the sky. Why not go to 10 so that everybody gets 5 home games? Well, I don't think they're going to go to 10 unless we have another massive pandemic and you only have league versus league. But I do like the idea of more league games anyway. I think it's the kind of thing that, people actually pay money to watch SEC teams play against each other, especially when your team is in the same league. All right, quick break here on Halftime, brought to you by Baxter Regional Medical Center, nonprofit health system. They focused on providing high-quality, compassionate care for the last 50 years. Great place to work. Baxter Regional recently named one of the top 100 rural and community hospitals in the United States. Their services and specialties have been expanding and continue to expand to meet the needs of their 11-county service area all across north central Arkansas and south central Missouri. Neurosurgery and spine clinic, structural heart program with a comprehensive heart program that features TAVR, urology clinic, comprehensive women's clinic, bone and joint clinic, and much more. Learn more at baxterregional.org. Baxter Regional, here for you wherever you are, from Harrison to Hardy and West Plains to Mountain View. Going to talk about Texas A&M Aggie football with the voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco, next on Halftime.
Behind Enemy Lines at the Southwest Classic in Dallas is presented by Century Bank of the Ozarks and Mountain Home. Local bankers making local decisions since 1894. And Ag Up Equipment with 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Find us at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer.
We'll be live at Bubba's Cooks Country Friday for the morning rush and at KSP Henderson off Henderson Avenue for Ruskin and Zach, plus on Saturday for Arkansas Game Day.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
September is here, and at Frank World Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down, and no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. All American made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank World Furniture. Best seats in the house.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Resetting your password, unsubscribing from emails, printing anything. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your business doesn't have to be one of them, so you can get back to more important things, like learning how that printer works. That's simple human sense.
Visit the Charles Osborne Agency in Greenwood or call them at 996-2129.
I've never been scared to stay by myself, but we've been talking, and as much as the kids are at home alone and John's out of town on business, we thought it was time for a security system. Guardtronic came out and walked through our home for a free estimate. He pointed out a couple of ideas I hadn't thought of. The licensed technicians were really knowledgeable and courteous. They explained exactly how to use our system. Now I understand how Guardtronic has been in business for over 60 years. Give Guardtronic a call today, 800-542-7866. That's 800-542-7866.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
If you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band. That lead guitar is hot, but not for Louisiana man. So rosin up that bowl for faded love and let's all dance. If you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
All right, the last time I saw Andrew Monaco, voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, we were right there with Andy and David, the voices of Auburn and Ole Miss baseball, in the press box at the ballpark downtown Omaha at the College World Series. And Andrew, I regret to tell you, I have not framed that photo and put it on the wall yet, but it is on my calendar to make sure I get that. That's one of my favorite photos I've ever taken, and it was great to see you in Omaha. And looking forward to seeing you at Jerry World on Saturday. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I cannot thank you enough for making that extra special.
You and Andy and David, thank you for that. As you know, it was my first time, and what was a special baseball season for all of us. But thank you for that, and I'm with you, my friend. I truly treasure that picture.
Yeah, it was awesome to do, and I know Commissioner Sankey took some pride in that too. When you got half the field at the College World Series, you got to take advantage of that, right?
6 of 8, Phil. When you say that Texas and Oklahoma are coming in,
That's right. That's right. Sooner or later, they'll realize Hoover is tougher to win than Omaha. But then again, Arkansas won Hoover and not Omaha yet. So big game on Saturday, man. I mean, you've called a few of these. Aggies there are a lot of folks in Arkansas that are really surprised that Texas A&M is favored in this game. Although when you look at it, really, it feels like a pick'em. But, the defense has played really well. So much of the talk of A&M, I think, on our side has been critical of the offense. But, man, defensively, they've played great.
Yeah, they really have. The shutout, you would think only allowing 17 against App State, you would win that game, especially in 2022, and then holding Miami to 9 points and really 5 field goal attempts. And thinking back, I can't remember how many shots Miami even took into the end zone in that game. The defense has been, and it's you're really fortunate to have some players come back on the back end. That has helped in their coverage. A couple of linebackers who I don't think get enough credit. Edgerrin Cooper is one of these. He definitely is a sideline-to-sideline guy. I think the linebacker matchup of Drew Sanders and Bumper Pool, Edgerrin Cooper and Chris Russell, and we're not going to see Andre White, which is a shame. I think he's going to be out one more week. But I think these linebackers are dynamic. I know Sanders doesn't do everything, and it's really all that Jimbo can talk about on that defensive end. But the offense, honestly, it can get better. It's an offensive line that's still learning to gel, obviously changing quarterbacks, and now Max Johnson at the helm. And he has experience in games like this. He has, of his 20 games, 14 have been against SEC competition. Now, that was with LSU, but, he and Jimbo Fisher, it goes back to Max Johnson, the son of Brad Johnson, who went to Florida State. They have been family friends for a long time, and also Jake Johnson, the tight end, is his brother. But now it's in his hands. And if you want, you can say he's more of a game manager, but he's more of that pocket presence who ran a little bit. The game changer on offense, and he can't get the ball in his hands enough, and we saw it a little bit last week, is Devon Achane. Out of that backfield, or he will line up as a wide receiver. He's also a kick returner. They're trying to get that all on track. Phil, in all honesty, This is a team that moved the ball better last week, but stalled at about the 40-yard line. Now, how do you move from the 40 and in? So instead of Nick Constantino punting and pinning you, which he does a fantastic job, can you now get some kind of points after those drives? That's one of the next steps for Texas A&M.
See, I've heard Max Johnson called a game manager before, and I kind of thought the same thing watching him for a few plays against Arkansas last year, but he wasn't a game manager when LSU beat the Aggies last year. He threw for 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards. So, he's shown that he does have that arm. He does have the ability to come up with big games and not running the football. So, if I were to ask you, if A&M were to get the offense going, what does it look like under Max Johnson as the quarterback?
A little more like Kellen Mond, if that makes sense. The decision-making, the reading the defense, but feeling the pressure. He has last year at LSU, I never realized how big the young man is. That's a big young man, big and strong. And he has that presence. It's funny because Jimbo and I have had this conversation on his coach's show in the past. Most people in the country think game manager is derogatory. Jimbo says that's exactly what your quarterback has to do. He has to manage the game. Does he throw interception? And that's the beauty of, as Jimbo was saying this week, KJ Jefferson, all the right decisions. That's what he thinks when it comes to a game manager. Look at KJ Jefferson. If you can stay away from the turnovers, right? And that's what was talking about earlier this week, making the right decisions. But Max has more of that, and obviously we play that pro style, but I think that comes from the Brad Johnson type style of just knowing that, one, first and foremost, that leadership of knowing that I'm the guy, and can you allow that to go to the rest of your team? line, receivers, running backs. I think he learned that from his father. I think he learned that from having to do it with LSU in the last couple of years. I think he learned it from, at times, he was buried behind Miles Brennan, and then all of a sudden, here he comes in to save the day. I don't think a lot of things faze him, and I think being able to see and the way he reacts and doesn't panic and isn't going to he'll throw the ball away, live to play another day, as opposed to trying to be the hero and threading that needle, and that becomes a turnover and you don't have the ball. He's been impressive. It was quite the battle throughout camp, and I would not have been surprised if Jimbo said Max from day one. He said Haynes King, but you could see they both have those leadership qualities, but now it's Max's turn, and I'm interested to see how much more comfortable he'll be this Saturday with his second start.
I guess one thing that also stands out here, and I mean, we've had fans text and call in saying that one thing, they're a little nervous about Arkansas's pass defense. You know, they're last in the nation in passing yards allowed, but they're getting after the quarterback. A lot of folks are thinking that Arkansas can kind of use their offense in a defensive way to hold on to that football with this good offensive line. Rocket Sanders has been great. Might get Dominique Johnson back. You got two other running backs, too, that are good, and KJ runs the ball as well. And, I mean, if there's another thing to point out about the Aggie offense that just is mind-blowing, it's that opponents are averaging 19 more plays offensively per game.
Yeah.
And the Aggies haven't been able to extend drives or hold on to the football all that much.
Right, that's exactly right. And it was absolutely lopsided against App State. It was time of possession was 42-18 in that game. And then they lost time of possession as well to Miami. And as you know, Jimbo loves the balance of the run and the pass, and he loves to be able to have his offense on the field more than his defense. And if you think about Saturday, you don't want your defense. He does not want his defense to be on against Arkansas's offense because he talks about the dynamic part of it. And as you said, can run to set up the pass. And it's funny, he was asked earlier this week about, and I'll jokingly say this again, no one in College Station is sad that Treylon Burks is gone. Terrific player. And you know what? If you're a college football fan, you loved watching him play because of the skill set. But Jimbo said, just because you haven't seen these receivers play at Arkansas, they've come from other schools, they've got football time. And they have made plays for other schools. And he said, if you take a look closely, these guys have all had their reps, and they seem to really be in concert with KJ Jefferson. And you know that run sets up that pass. And if you can keep this Texas A&M defense, I don't want to say guessing, because DJ Durkin, this isn't a guessing defense. One thing they've been really good at, you're going to see them gang tackle. They run to the ball. It is aggressive. They also like to get pressure. Despite not getting sacks, I thought they made Tyler Van Dyke uncomfortable at times last week. He never had that big game. And he's not this mobile quarterback, but they were able to get him out of the pocket sometimes and really messed up some of the timing. One of the differences is I didn't like Miami's receivers very much. I think they need more time together with Van Dyke. I think we played them at a good time. I thought they showed their inexperience. I don't think that's going to happen this Saturday with KJ Jefferson and his receivers.
Mm-hmm. And Jimbo, especially on Monday, I listened to his press conference. He gave a lot of high praise to Hazelwood and to Matt Landers, like you were talking about there, Andrew. But if A&M comes away this Saturday in Jerry's World with the win, pretty easy to know what the narrative is going to be. Back-to-back top 25 wins. You know, feel like the ship has been righted. App State that was a fluke. It happens a lot to a lot of great teams. A&M starts the season 2-2. What is the vibe around the fan base? I mean, because let's be honest,
they were jumping off Kyle after App State, right?
Yeah.
Look, they were. Think about it. They lost their first two SEC games last year to Arkansas and Mississippi State, and then who came in? Alabama. To me, it all depends on. And I just got out of Jimbo's office because we talk every Wednesday. And I said, you know what, great turnaround last week. And I actually asked him to describe the kind of week it was. I said, but that can't be a one-week thing. You can't just say, okay, we lost and now we bounced back, and then go back and do the same thing that you did during App State. So I always ask him, and it's no guarantee. I know it's no guarantee that a good week of practice guarantees a win, but it's a better performance. Mm-hmm. The one thing I can guarantee, a bad week of practice, you're going to play poorly on Saturday. I don't think you can win when you do that. And I think that's some of the habits that are there. And I'm telling you, it was more eventful than you think last week, because Sunday you had a leadership council of Jimbo's get together and say that was not acceptable. Can you get everybody into having a perfect practice every single day? Jimbo, you heard, may have talked about the strain. And then to have 4 freshmen be suspended for the game. And that was the leadership council said, you know what? They're not, it's not just the first half. It's going to be the entire game. Not Jimbo's decision, leadership council. To me, there was a lot of maturity in 1 week. Now, I don't know if do you exhale and say, we're not going through that again. But I think they grew from that. Again, no guarantee on Saturday, but I think they now know the recipe for the success, and they will know immediately. I'm seeing the players do that. They know immediately if that effort, if that strain is not there on the practice field. Now they remind one another. The coaches don't have to do that or say that to them all the time. I think they've got a little bit of that in their memory back now.
Mm-hmm. Now, Andrew, A&M's been the butt of a lot of jokes here the last couple of weeks after the Yell videos have come out. And, I'll be honest, I've made fun of it too. I think that it's weird because you don't see it anywhere else other than College Station. But, give us a real opinion of what actually does make that thing special instead of just the weird, bad jokes that we see on Twitter.
I hate to fall on, but it's a tradition here at Texas A&M. Yell practice is a tradition. Yell leaders are a tradition. That's been part of it. You know what? They've been doing that for years and years and years, and it always seems you guys have heard this before about Texas A&M. On the outside, you can't understand it. On the inside, you can't explain it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Texas A&M and all the traditions, and that's been a part of it. And they did that before the game against Sam Houston, and they did it the week before Alabama. It wasn't a story after they win. It becomes one more thing. Like you said, were they the butt of jokes? Yeah, and you know what? Jimbo didn't run from that. Last Friday, he said, change the narrative. He said, you have a great opportunity. You get to play the number 13 team in the country. You get to change the narrative. And that's what it is. Now, did we see Yell practice before Miami? No. You guys, you know what it's like. It's, Aggie fans are saying, well, why are they bringing it up now? Well, you know what? You brought it upon yourself. Do something about it. And football players have the power, right, to change that. I always say this over the course of each team that I do. This campus is always better when football wins, when basketball wins, when baseball wins. And it's a much better campus now. But no, it's just one of the traditions that are here to get. You kind of lose sight of the fact that 25 to 30,000 of your students are there at midnight, Friday going into Saturday, for Yell practice. They're doing that on their own. It's not mandatory. You don't hear about 37,000 student tickets. We were sold out before this season began. I get it, but that's what comes with the territory. And sometimes that's what these young players have to realize, that it's a little bit more of a microscope. You wanted to be here. You wanted to play on this level. You've got the responsibility of everything that goes with that.
Andrew Monaco with us, voice of the Aggies. And last thing, and we'll let you go, Andrew, and we appreciate you hopping on with us and kicking this stuff around with us. Yesterday, I counted, thanks to my Microsoft Word app, in Jimbo's opening statement, 903 words in less than 3.5 minutes. Now, I say this with all due respect, but I think it's true.
Yeah.
I don't know of a faster talker in college football. You just got out of his office. So does Jimbo Fisher speak as quickly in person when the cameras aren't rolling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Phil, my first coach's show, we are at a local establishment, and an older Aggie came up and right to Jimbo said, "Can you talk slower? Our ears are old." Jimbo said, this is the way I talk. That's just him. And when he starts digging into something that he's got some passion about, it's fantastic. Here's the other thing that I absolutely love. 3 decades in this business, right? And then when Jimbo starts telling a story and it's really, really good, my phone starts blowing up on that table. It's my wife saying, "Hey, don't interrupt him." And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that right now on his coach's show. I'm going to interrupt him in the middle of something Plus, he doesn't take a breath. I don't know where to interrupt him, so I'm not sure I possibly could.
Andrew, I appreciate that answer and you hopping on with us, and it's great to talk to you. Looking forward to seeing you at AT&T Stadium Saturday. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, guys. Pleasure. I look forward to seeing you as well, my friend.
Hey, appreciate it, Andrew.
You got it. Andrew Monaco, voice of the Aggies, and an A&M alum. I mean, this ain't the only show or the only people that he talks to. He gets some questions that he's got to give the kind of answers like, yeah, this is a different sort of a place. We've got a fast-talking coach. I do love the idea of fans actually going up and asking Jimbo can you slow it down just a tiny little bit? But, I mean, you can't teach an old coach new speaking patterns. I think that'd be the right way to put it. Something like that. All right, if you want to react to that, 877-377-6963 is our line for calls and texts. And we are halfway through this Wednesday, so it means halfway through the week, and halftime is right back.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move, and look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep. And folks, this is my favorite time of year. It's Jeep Freedom Days. And you know, at Red River, one thing we believe in, that's freedom. Like right now, you've got the freedom to order your car online at redriverjeep.com. You can custom build it and get it however you want. And you have the freedom to take the in-person experience and come in and order your vehicle right here from a salesperson, or buy one right off our lot. So make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
If you're particular about your lawn, when nothing else matters except those perfectly cut stripes, that is your defining moment when you know you want a Skag zero-turn mower. Simply the best, hands down. When no other mower will cut it, stop by Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma and pick out your new Skag zero-turn mower and be the envy of your neighborhood. Come by today to see the full lineup of Skag zero-turn mowers at Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Oh, get on.
I left my home in Norfolk, Virginia, California, home of mine. I straddled that Greyhound and rode him into Raleigh and on across Carolina. I had more to trouble to turn into a struggle halfway across Alabama. Well, that hound broke down and left us all stranded in downtown Birmingham.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Apparently, Charlie was on hold for like the entire Andrew Monaco conversation, and 20 minutes on hold is a long time to have that phone up to your ear. So let's go to the phones. We got Charlie. Charlie, how hot is the side of your head right now? You've been listening on that phone for like 20 minutes.
Hey, actually, when I heard him come on, I put my phone down on the little bench because I knew, obviously, 100% sure that you guys weren't going to pick me up then. Put my phone on the bench, went in and got my lunch and got my drink. But yeah, I am burning up. I had a meeting today. That's why I was running a little late. Can you believe they include the tuna in meetings up here? I mean, in actual quality assurance.
They call you? Do they refer to you as the tuna in these meetings?
No, I've tried. I mean, it's Charlie Shepard on there, but I try to get them to put like in quotations or something, like tuna. But I've even, it just don't work. I've tried though. I am definitely burning up, Phil, because I got khakis on and I got a long sleeve shirt. Kind of. I guess I forgot. I know it's September and all, but good God, it's hot out here. Lord of mercy.
What did I see it referred to the other day? Yesterday was what, August the 58th? That's about right, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's crazy. Hey, Phil, all these guys that y'all bring in as guests, and I actually like that guy that just called in. Has there ever been a guy that's called in other than that Georgia guy that you talked about the other day that you wanted to just hang the freaking phone up on? I mean, because most of the time you guys bring on great guests, but like, I know Texas A&M has been a blunt of jokes lately. He was actually really good. I enjoyed listening to him. Has there ever been a guy you ever brought in on here? You're like, man, I just want to hang this thing up on this dude.
I think the guy you're referring to. I know the guy you're referring to.
What Georgia
Mike
guy?
Griffith. It was Mike Griffith who covers the Bulldogs for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. We brought this up the other day.
When did we have him on?
Well, it was before you joined the show.
Okay. I was about to say, I don't remember.
We wanted a sick smackdown after him because he started referring to Arkansas as the most thankless job in the SEC. We had him on after Sam Pittman was hired, and Pittman, of course, coming from Georgia. And Mike Griffith, let's just put it this way. He's not afraid about sharing his opinion, no matter how insulting it might have been at that moment. He's the only one. I love Andrew because I feel like anybody that's associated with Aggies athletics or just Texas A&M overall, like, you have to understand. You have to know that you're a little different. But I think also they take pride in being different like that. So you can ask an Aggie a question about why are you the way that you are. You just gotta phrase it a little nicer than that.
Aggie that I actually do like, and I'll never forget him getting hired in Detroit, was Dan Campbell. The little interview that he had, and he looked like he was crazy-eyed or something. He used to play for the Cowboys. He's actually, I was on the hard.
Gosh, I think the fact that Charlie's wearing khakis is ruining his phone call today. Things are a little bit.
Can y'all not hear me?
It was going in and out
for about 20 seconds there. I thought your khakis got in the way, or maybe your last name. Because today's the first day I learned it. I thought your last name was in Camden.
Let me be real quick. The only Aggie that I have an Aggie friend, and I actually like Dan Campbell, the coach for Detroit. Not just because of what he did for Dan Skipper the other day. I watched a lot of Hard Knocks, and he played for the Cowboys, but I always knew he was a hard-nosed, disciplinary and respectful guy. So, But I definitely enjoyed watching that thing they did for Dan Skipper the other day. That was just awesome. Drew, you weren't around when Dan was here. I get it, but, man, it was always fun watching a guy 6'10" try to bend at right. I think he played right tackle for us, right, Phil? It's crazy when you're 6'10". How do you I'm surprised he's still in the league, but it's so awesome that he's worked his butt off and got a shot and played well the other day. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it. Awesome.
Yeah, and a day where they were favored for the first time in forever and they blew out Washington in that one. So get them another start with Frank Ragnow right there in the middle. Jimmy and Van Buren next on Halftime. Hi, Jimmy. Thanks for the phone call. What's up?
Not a lot, guys. I was listening to y'all this morning. I just got out of a doctor's appointment and hopped back on. I just want to say I love what you guys talk about, the passion that y'all bring to the radio. But to kind of hit on something that y'all were talking about this morning, I think that we're going to run all over Texas A&M this Saturday. I hope that we can maybe throw in some deep play action. But I really like the way y'all talked about the game this morning, and I wanted to call in and let you guys know that there's a lot of listeners out there that appreciate y'all and appreciate the job that y'all do.
Well, we appreciate the phone call and the sentiments behind that, Jimmy. Thank you very much. Yeah. He says this morning, was it the morning rush or was it the 1 hour of the morning and halftime? Because it wouldn't have been between 9 and 11, I think that's for sure. I know JW is on hold next. We've got a bunch of callers with us here in this segment. JW in London, how are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, I got a real quick question. And regardless of how you think about the Aggies, one of the things I always liked was that giant pyramid that they made out of logs or whatever and set it on fire and stuff. Are they still doing that at all? I'm just curious. I'll just hang up and listen. I just didn't know if they were still doing it all. I know they had a big, something happened or something. But I'm just curious if they're still doing that.
I remember the bonfire incident. When was that? All right, 1999 is when that happened. I don't think they do it, or at least if there is a bonfire in College Station, it's not like sponsored by the university and signed off on it and everything. Because look it up. 1999 giant bonfire just short of 3 o'clock in the morning collapsed, and I know that there were a lot of injuries. 12 deaths were caused by that. So wow. I don't think they do it anymore.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. And I think it's called a bonfire would be the proper terminology. But that was, it's more than just a bonfire, for crying out loud. It looked like a teepee on fire right there in the middle of College Station. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on halftime. We're going to wrap up hour number 2 with another reset with Drew next.
Yes, it does. The way you squeeze and tease knocks me to my knees.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
We want to welcome you to Rose One Stop Bait and Tackle at 612 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. We are your one-stop store for all your needs. We carry Petty G meat products, the official ham and bacon of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Give us a call and pre-order your party or tailgate party meat and vegetable trays to pick up on your way to the game. Call us at 479-452-2444 and we will have it ready. Rose One Stop, the best little one-stop in the River Valley.
This is Northside head football coach, Coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. This is Northside head basketball coach, Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football in fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
If you are looking for a tractor to fit your farm or property, from landscapers to ranchers, take a look at the all-new Bad Boy tractors, built tough to be a workhorse in the field. Bad Boy has a history of combining power, performance, and quality, and you will find that in every tractor they sell. See your local Bad Boy tractor dealer in Western Arkansas, Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma, or visit almatractor.com.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Behind Enemy Lines at the Southwest Classic in Dallas is presented by Century Bank of the Ozarks and Mountain Home. Local bankers making local decisions since 1894. And Ag Up Equipment with 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Find us at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer.
Dig it. Coolin' at a bar, and I'm looking for some action. But like Mick Jagger said, I can't get no satisfaction. The girls are all around, but none of them wanna get with me. My threads are fresh and I'm looking deaf. Yo, what's up, what LOC? The girls was all jocking at the other end of the bar, having drinks with some no-name chump when they know that I'm the star. So I got up and strolled over to the other side of the cantina. I asked the guy, why you so fly? He said, Funky Cole Medina.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
They're not cooking chicken in Funky Cold Medina. They're cooking chicken in something else on a crazy social media app that we'll get into later on. But until then, here's Drew with a second-hour reset.
Freeze frame!
Reset and refresh.
Reset. The Great Reset.
It's time for the Halftime Reset, giving you all the info and facts you need to make it through the rest of your day in sports.
False start. Both teams back on it. Get back here.
Now, here's Drew Barrett with your Halftime Reset.
Just like Phil talked about, it's a crazy world where what happens on apps is now official news. This is going around the Twitterverse. It's getting a lot of retweets, a lot of comments. Ratio is at full peak on the news out of Cincinnati as quarterback Joe Burrow, well, he needs to focus. He's decided to remove Twitter and Instagram from his phone, and it's being reported he's not just removed the apps. He possibly has deleted his accounts permanently. So we will be keeping up with the story and giving you more information as the investigation continues into how Joe Burrow will be handling his off time and what he will be looking at on his phone. As Phil mentioned earlier in the hour, the men's 2022-2023 times and TV schedules have come out. Of course, the big blockbuster matchup will be Kentucky the first Saturday of March 4th. That'll be the CBS marquee game. Other things, pretty standard SEC network. A lot of ESPN2s, ESPNUs, or ESPNs, ORs, if you're not knowing really exactly which of the three networks it'll be on, but it'll be on there. The only thing that really jumps out as far as times go, only one 11 o'clock game this year. You will be at home January 21st against Ole Miss. That's going to be on ESPN2, but only one early tip-off time, so you've got plenty of time to make it up to Fayetteville. Don't have to leave the night before, really for a lot of the SEC home schedule. Also in the news on the Twitterverse, the EA Sports, they tweeted out this morning a teaser video for their upcoming FIFA 23, but with a delightful twist. And this is a twist that might get Clay Henry to even play video games. It is official that AFC Richmond and Ted Lasso will be in the game and a playable team. That's right. You can play as Roy Kent, Danny Rojas, Sam Abasayan, Isaiah McAdoo, and the one and only Jamie Tart, with the gaffer himself, Ted Lasso, and even Coach Beard on the sideline. So look forward to that. On some serious notes, Phoenix Suns and Mercury's owner, Robert Salver, announces earlier today that he has started the process to sell both franchises. This is according to Shams of The Athletic, who I first saw it from, now being reported by multiple other sources. This just has the LA Clippers manager, Donald Sterling, written all over it. Do something racist, something terrible, and guess what? You still make billions of dollars. Well, that's frustrating, but that's your hour or two reset.
Well, they can't just take the franchise away.
I know, but there's got to be
take it away.
It just feels so empty of punishment, like, hey, you can't have a professional team, but we're going to give you $10 billion to go away.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I guess if you're going to get the process of going away to happen, first you got to sell the team. And, I mean, when you put money down on something and it's yours.
I get it.
You just can't have it taken away, no matter how miserable of a...
As much as I want it to be taken away, I guess it can't.
That's right. All right, we're going to get into the third hour of halftime after a quick top-of-the-hour break. Calls and texts at 877-377-6963. Somebody go find Joe Burrow's phone. He needs social media, for crying out loud. Stay with us.
United Hail Pros will fix your hail-damaged car, offering industry-leading paintless dent repair with zero out-of-pocket, a free rental car from Enterprise, and a lifetime warranty. Locally owned and operated. Schedule today at UnitedHailPros.com. Call United Hail Pros today at 479-309-3998. We're on our way.
Trust United Hail Pros. This is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition, we have top-rated paint brands, plus our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wondering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today. September 12th through the 30th, a 10-inch mum is only $8.99. Miracle Grow Potty Mix 1 cubic foot bag, only $9.99. Or Ortho Home Defense Killer 1.1 gallon, just $12.99 with your Ace Reward card.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon, mid to upper 90s. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, upper 60s. Sunny with falling temperatures on Thursday. It'll be in the upper 70s north, right around the upper 80s south. Sunshine highs in the low to mid 80s on Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Radio station
KERX Paris Fort Smith from the Busch Light Studios. This is ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Into the third hour of halftime on a very warm Wednesday across our natural state. Be safe out there with the heat here on, was it like August 58th or 59th, something like that today. Yeah, getting up close to triple digits. And we got you for the next 60 minutes or so here on halftime. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in the next segment. Plenty of your calls and texts. We got some of the weird stuff to get to as well, including this chess cheating scandal. We'd never bring up chess unless it was something really, really weird, and this is one of them. A brand new chicken recipe, which I don't think you're going to want to try anytime soon. But first, let's get into what everybody really is discussing as far as Arkansas football is concerned, and it is on the negative side the pass defense. On the positive side, it's your ability to run the football and get to the quarterback defensively. A&M should not have a big game in the air against Arkansas. Look, I don't know all that much about the makeup of the defenses for Appalachian State and for the Miami Hurricanes. And admittedly, in both of those games, the Aggies passed for only 20 times against both App State and against Miami. They have a heck of a time just trying to hold on to the football. And you can point out to me that time of possession doesn't matter at all, and I think in some cases it does not. Arkansas has shown the ability to score really quickly, and they've shown the ability to extend drives and go down the field in 4.5, 5 minutes, 12, 13, 14 plays. And we've seen, at least 4 or 5 scoring drives of 2 plays or less and sub 1 minute. So, it's pretty obvious. As far as Arkansas is concerned, there are moments where they will be able to score very quickly, and then there's other times where they can keep the opposing offense off the field and grind out 4 or 5 yards at a time. And you got the kind of offensive line, the kind of blockers, the kind of running backs, kind of quarterback that can definitely do that. I don't necessarily see the Aggies as the same way. at all. They're not. I would be so surprised if you go from a team that had 97 yards passing against Appalachian State, admittedly with Haynes King as the quarterback. So you make a change to the tall left-hander Max Johnson, and they throw for 140 yards, 10 out of 20 passing. Ran 32 times for 124 yards. Couldn't possess the football very long at all. And the Arkansas defense has been allowing over 300 yards per game. Now, how much of this has to do with the idea that Cincinnati was playing from behind in the second half and started to hit some plays? How much does it have to do with the idea that South Carolina just couldn't run the football against Arkansas? I'm not sure if they can run against anybody. Got a talented quarterback with a good arm, and he was able to take advantage of some holes here and there, and to be quite honest, it didn't seem to hurt Arkansas that much. They won the game anyway. Missouri State was a different situation, though. I mean, they built that lead by throwing the football, by taking the ball away from Arkansas a couple of times, short drives, some 3-and-outs. That was something that you hadn't seen very much against Cincinnati or Carolina, certainly in the first half. Arkansas was a good first-half team in Week 1 and Week 2. Not so much in Week 3. But I mean, if you get ahead of A&M, like it doesn't appear, it doesn't seem, Drew, like it's an offense that if you get ahead by 10 points, if you get ahead by a couple of touchdowns, like you understand that's the time where your front four, or in a case of Drew Sanders, front five, and maybe a nickelback coming up, so-called pin your ears back and just go after the quarterback and see if you can get him down. And also trust the idea that your offense might be able to keep you ahead by 10 points, a couple touchdowns. If you get up ahead of them early like Arkansas did last year, I would be so surprised if all of a sudden an offense in Texas A&M that has literally done nothing in the first 3 weeks, and let's just look at the 2 weeks against FBS teams, they've been able to do nothing in the air. They're not a very deep team as far as receivers are concerned. I think there's questions about their depth at quarterback. Look, I understand Max Johnson did have himself 3 or 4 300-yard passing games last year, but, he was taken out against Arkansas really early, and Coach O threw Garrett Nussmeier against them instead for most of that game. And I understand getting Slusher back. I think getting Miles Slusher back is huge. And look, I'm part of the problem against Missouri State. Yeah, the receivers got behind Arkansas secondary, but there were way too many missed tackles. And that is something that Chris Paul spoke of yesterday at the media session. He's trying to, focus on tackling, getting into the ground. That Coach Odom has talked about this so much this week. Sam Pittman said, we've brought guys from the scout team and actually done more tackling practice. There is the idea that there have been receivers running free in the secondary. Like, you can fix that, but I really feel you can fix the tackling problems, and that's not like a cure-all, but goodness gracious. I don't remember how many yards after the catch there were by Missouri State.
Too many.
But a ton. There was almost 200 of them. Your first guy gets the ball handler to the ground, ball carrier, the receiver to the ground. You stop it right there, man. Tackle better, you're going to keep those yards down. And that, to me, would be pretty key against A&M on Saturday. I think it's a better tackling team than we've seen, certainly by the linebackers, because, Sanders missed some tackles against the Bears. Bumper
missed.
10. It felt like a career high for Bumper as far as missed tackles are concerned, because that's one thing that he's done incredibly well in his career. I guess I'd just be surprised if there was that much trouble tackling from your linebackers and from a guy like Slusher, who's pretty good at getting, ball carriers to the ground. That's pretty key Saturday.
I think it is, and it goes back to an earlier conversation we had. I think we had this conversation yesterday when Sam Pittman talked about the defensive backs kind of built like an offensive line, to where it's the 5 best guys out there, and adding Miles Slusher back into that list is going to help. You're going to have one less, I hate to say weak link, but you'll have a stronger link there than what you had against Missouri State. and against South Carolina. So getting Miles Slusher back is absolutely huge. It's a big advantage for Arkansas. And looking at this game and looking at A&M's offense, I just don't see where there really is a place that you feel like they're going to destroy you at. To where I do believe if you are able to get some touchdowns early, especially get up by 10, 14, heck, maybe even 21, and it'll be done from right there, because I just don't see A&M's offense having enough firepower and having just the statistics on paper from what we've seen through 3 weeks to really be able to get into a shootout with Arkansas. If Arkansas can make this a shootout, that means that they have completely exposed A&M's defense. Then it really wouldn't be a shootout. It'd be a blowout, more or less likely, because I just don't see A&M having the offensive firepower that we may have thought that they could possibly possess coming into this season. So with Miles Slusher coming back, I think you definitely feel a heck of a lot more confident.
I feel really good about Arkansas against most teams right now on the schedule if it were to come to a shootout. A couple teams both getting over 30, 35 points. I'd feel really good about Arkansas's opportunity to win a game like that, because a lot of times, even if you give up 30, 35, your defense has still made plays. You look at the year, Arkansas allowed 24 to Cincinnati, 30 to South Carolina, 27 against Missouri State. Made plenty of plays in all three of those games. Either getting to the quarterback or taking the ball away. And offensively, this is a team, I think, that can win a game where both teams are in the 40s. I think you've got that kind of explosiveness. When you're able to score on just as many drives that go 4.5 minutes as drives that are less than 1 minute, you're not a one-trick pony. There's like 5 or 6 different tricks to the way Arkansas can get into the end zone. So and that makes this year a lot different, I think, from previous years, and that includes last year as well. Quick break on halftime. Got plenty of your texts coming up, and we've got Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio standing by in just a moment. Brought to you by WT Equipment. 8 locations serving customers across Arkansas and North Louisiana. Now the newest location for WT Equipment is also open in Searcy. WT Equipment, authorized New Holland agriculture and construction equipment dealership. They offer sales, equipment sales, service, and parts. WT Equipment is your source for any kind of equipment. If you're ready to harvest or put up hay, and if you're in the market for compact track loaders or excavators, go to WT Equipment, one of their 8 locations across Arkansas and North Louisiana. Got a large selection of new and pre-owned inventory. That's WT Equipment, 8 locations in Arkansas and North Louisiana, and online at WTEquip.com. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio going to chop up the SEC next.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
Your home
video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning.
For every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, the king of college football talk, joining us on Wednesdays here. We always appreciate that. Hi, Bill. How you doing today?
What's up, guys? Good to be with you.
Good to be with you, too. We've been talking Arkansas versus Texas A&M for the last couple of days. And the last segment, I started positing the idea. It's like, I don't think that Texas A&M has that kind of explosive offense where they can just take advantage of what really has been the issue for the Razorbacks. Now, they've stopped the run, and they understand that Devin Achane is a great running back, but Arkansas has stopped the run for 3 consecutive weeks. They've been weak in the secondary, and as far as tackling is concerned, that's been the number one thing. I just don't know if there's anything about A&M. A. Smith is a good wide receiver. I'm not sure what else they have as far as pass catchers are concerned, and they're on Max Johnson, a second quarterback, and it's only week 4. Is there anything about Texas A&M offensively that if you were Barry Odom, you're like, you got to watch out for this because this is what can beat us?
No. They're trying to identify their personality on that side of the ball. They don't really know what it is. And with Max Johnson, who we've seen play many times before, but they're limited, and they don't score points easily. And now they're salty defensively. The flip side of this is I like Arkansas's offense certainly better than I like A&M's, but it still might not be a high points game where you're up in the high 20s or something. So you have to be careful that you don't get caught in a 14 to 13 or 17-14 game too.
I wonder if you can point out to any team that has had this kind of, like boom or bust kind of a defense. I mean, you look at the statistics, and even if you just let's forget about the statistics and just watching the game, but it's still statistically to lead the nation in sacks 3 weeks into the season and to be dead last in passing yards allowed. Like, these are two things that don't usually go together. I can't think of another team that's been quite like that in my lifetime.
Right. That is an odd partnership when it comes to stats. It really is. This is going to be fun, guys. This is, other than Florida, Tennessee, because it's certainly got more history to it, that's probably my favorite game this weekend.
Well, what do you think of Florida, Tennessee? I mean, this is Florida. You know, they've had their one big win against Utah. They kind of fell flat against Kentucky. Tennessee, they had a big road win against Pitt. And, you know, we're kind of thinking, who's second in the SEC East? Because Georgia looks like another world beater. But if you're fighting for second, Kentucky, yeah, that looks like second. Well, then who's third? Is this the game for third place?
Might be. And Tennessee, Kentucky play every year, obviously, and then Georgia's looming. But this is going to be fun because Tennessee's never even been a touchdown favorite in this series, and they're 10.5 to 11. The most they've ever been favored was the early 2000s when Ron Zook was the coach at Florida, and it was 5.5. The nervousness here is the rat poison. Is this team soaking this in? Because Florida has owned this series. They've won 16 of the last 17. And Tennessee's only won 7 of them since the mid-'70s. Now, they didn't play every year leading up to the East and the West, but that's still a pretty damning statistic.
Could there be rat poison in an Arkansas win over A&M? You get Alabama the week after, 2:30 CBS. They took that game, a couple days ago. Hogs are feeling really good about it. Fans are feeling really good about it. They talk a lot. They say all the right things about one game at a time. I remember last week, it's like, I don't know. They were looking ahead to A&M. I'm not sure if they took Missouri State 100% seriously. You know, we've had fans ask us here, you know, you beat A&M. Do you believe in the idea of momentum going into Alabama or confidence going into Alabama? I'm like, well, that didn't work last year against Georgia. Could there be rat poison in an Arkansas win over the Aggies?
I don't think so, because the biggest, baddest brand in the history of college football is next up.
Yeah.
And that won't allow any rat poison to seep in. The only problem with that is, and we can jump ahead, Alabama's not playing that well. Their lines of scrimmage aren't dominant. There's not a receiving core or an individual there that takes the top off a defense. The running back transfer is good. Quarterback's a superstar. But the lines of scrimmage, they've been decent, but they're not Alabama bully good, and they're certainly not anywhere near they've been at wide receiver. And maybe that's a tough comparison, but they just don't scare people.
All right, well, I'll let you look ahead a little bit then. Let's just say Arkansas. We'll talk next week. We'll talk next week. Let's have you look ahead a little bit. We got people texting in saying this is the year. 11-1. Think they beat Alabama. You know, this is the year, and it's all there in front of you. You've got a dominant pass rusher in Drew Sanders and a couple of others. You've got a running back who looks like a world beater too in Rocket Sanders. KJ's played well. You control the line of scrimmage. I mean, is there anything that you've seen in these first 3 weeks? And it's only 3 weeks. You got another 8 games or another 9 games. I mean, are there things that you watch right now that you say, you know what, maybe depending, Alabama might be a little down. Maybe this is Arkansas's year to rise up in the West.
This is a good opportunity. I think they match up better in this game than they've matched up since they played, in the Sugar Bowl in the late 70s when Alabama won a national championship. I do. I really do. I think this could be an interesting matchup. Now look, I also want to make sure I have this caveat. I'm comparing Alabama to national championship level teams, their teams. And my point is I don't see that yet. And then is there room to grow into that? I think so, but I'm not seeing it today. Arkansas absolutely on both sides of the line of scrimmage matches up better today than they have, and I don't know when.
Yeah, Bill, it definitely does feel like that. And when it comes to Alabama, the reason why I feel like so many people are, feeling a little bit confident, feel like that Arkansas matches up is because even though they didn't lose, you got to see some blood in the water with that close win against Texas. You got to see that Bama is a little vulnerable, that they can be beat by a really, really good team. If you're Alabama, what are the main things you're working on this week against Vandy, basically, going up against the JV of the SEC, or, basically being able to do whatever you want like you're in spring practice?
I would say if it's Nick, it's feeding them all the negativity that's out there. And I'm probably overstating that, but he'll find the negativity, right? He's the best at doing that too. And probably shoring up that offensive line. That offensive line can't bully people still. And they're still trying to find their best fivesome. And they don't have a tight end that you have to worry about at all. And I just say solidify what you've got. Make sure you get your young guys. You had two receivers who may take the top off, who've been injured. One just returned. You got the Louisville kid who hadn't played, and he's a speed guy. You probably want to implement them in there too and see if you can get some verticality out of your passing game.
Not too far away from Tuscaloosa, down to Auburn. How long is Brian Harsin an Auburn resident after what happened against Penn State?
Well, I'd be shocked if he doesn't know it's over, but the formality of it, and with the recruiting calendar and everything else moved up, people are getting fired early. Herm Edwards is gone. As we know, Frosty got fired a couple of weeks prior, and that's probably the trend. Now, I would say they'd have to hit rock bottom again somewhere, and if they do somewhere along the line, they may go ahead and make the move. I don't think – I'd be shocked if they don't announce something by the time we get to maybe put your over and under at like Halloween or something. It'd be a good bet right there.
And in this case, they're not going to let Harsin even get to the Iron Bowl, where maybe Auburn plays well enough to hey, we need to keep him around. But I read Aaron Suttles in the Athletic, and it's like, well, here come the stories about Harsin, not recruiting as well as Auburn should, and you've got 6 different high school coaches that are polled, and 4 of them are saying, well, he's never been to our school. They don't look ahead like Alabama does, this and that. It's when this stuff comes out and you've been blown out at home on national television by a team that you beat on the road last year, and the boosters investigating the program and everything. It's like the writing's already on the wall. It's right there for you. When the stories start coming out, it's like, all right, people are whispering to reporters, man.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's very toxic. The AD got run. Obviously, he had a limited contract, but that's horrible news. And I'm sure it's tough. It's a tough gig right now, getting up and going in there every day and trying to remain professional in front of your team, which part of your job is doing that. I'm sure he's doing that, but they got to make a move. There's no question that they will make a move.
Did you see where forget what game this was. I think it was the LSU-Mississippi State game. Greg Sankey was on and talked about, focusing on a single division, really just having like the 14 or the 16 teams lined up in the standings and doing away with divisions, which makes so much sense. But he also said that there's no consensus right now on the 9-game schedule or the 8-game schedule. And here it is. I'm thinking, if you've got a 16-team league and you're not going to do divisions, you got to have the 9-game schedule. But there he is. He's saying there's no consensus on this. And I kind of thought that sooner or later the consensus would start leaning towards 9 games. Is there any surprise you feel about this?
I think they'll go to 9, but they don't have to. They already get more people in the playoffs than anybody else. And when we expand it here to the number which they're saying is going to be 12, then they're just the committee already is okay with them playing 8. Now, the reason to play 9 would be just another attractive in-league game. That's the reason you would do it, and there's more revenue doing that than bringing in Akron and paying them, whatever you're going to pay them. That's the only reason for that. But playoff-wise, they're as safe as you can be, and when they expand it, you're going to be, heck, if you go back and look, there could be years they have 4 teams in that thing, and the committee doesn't give a rip whether they play 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm. And with the schedule being released yesterday, Bill, does that firmly close the door that there's not going to be a surprise OU Texas entry in 2023, that 2024 really is the earliest we can get it?
I would say that's their assumption. I don't think quietly that's been given up on, but I think that's the assumption. Assume that the full letter of the contract is going to play out. And if we can have something happen that would expedite this, the more the merrier. I mean, you can jerk with it's a pain, but you can jerk with those schedules if you have to get them in earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When will Georgia finally have a good game? I mean, they've just completely blown out 3 teams in a row. One of them was an 11th ranked team. Another was an SEC team. They got Kent State, then Mizzou, then Auburn, then Vanderbilt. I mean, is Georgia going to beat everybody by 30 points or more this year? Because it certainly looks like they could.
The only thing is just pure boredom. Week after week, destroying your opponent, putting up crazy stats, getting to play the young guys, which is very important, and keeping that team, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old players, with the reality of what can happen on a bad day. I don't really think that's going to happen. That's what you're saying during the regular season. I just don't see it. They're double-digit favorites over everybody on the regular season schedule. But it would have to be just overall boredom and complacency. And if Kirby Smart's a pretty fiery guy, I don't know that happens on his watch.
They've got to be bored of the quote unquote rivalry with Georgia Tech. I mean, it's really not too much of a rivalry here, is it? I mean, we had somebody text in earlier. It's like, well, you're not. Reese Davis had brought up the idea of play a 10-game SEC schedule. I kind of like that, but somebody else, posited, well, South Carolina's going to have a problem with that. They want to play Clemson. Florida's going to have a problem with that. They want to play Florida State or they want to play Miami. And Georgia's going to have a problem with that too. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really think Georgia cares very much about Georgia Tech. Like, if there's a rivalry to give up, that's the one.
I'm with you. Now, I don't know if anybody would say that publicly, but it's true. There's no rivalry. Georgia Tech's going to have to run Jeff Collins. He's not going to survive. And they'll hire another guy. They'll reach, and it won't work out. I think you're right. Now, I don't know if that means we're not going to see that game, but I don't think anybody would miss that. I don't think Georgia fans would say, dang, I missed the good old days when we played Georgia Tech.
Think Oklahoma fans are going to miss Bedlam?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a special series. Yeah. And it's a shame it's got to go, but we all know it's going to go. And maybe, down the road somebody will get them together, but that's sad. I hate that.
All right, Bill, we'll let you go with that. Appreciate you hopping on, man. Have a great rest of the week and enjoy the football.
Yeah, man. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, Bill.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. Always good to give us some of his time on a Wednesday. Have you tried Lark yet? You need to try it. It doesn't have any booze in it, but you can catch a buzz because Lark has just the right balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD infused inside its lovely, refreshing flavors. Strawberry guava, mango, grapefruit, and berry. None of the bad stuff. No sugar, no carbs, no calories, no alcohol. Yet it tastes great, and it feels great. It's brought to you by Washita Farms. Find Lark at your local adult beverage store. Just have it shipped to your doorstep. Go to larkhemp.com to do that. larkhemp.com. Got to be 21 years of age or older. Quick break. They're cooking chicken in NyQuil. My gosh. I'm not hungry anymore.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at tulsawoundcenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The guys, here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
I've done this in the past, and usually I use about, 4/3 of the bottle. And if it's your first time doing this, you can get away with using about a fifth. Season that NyQuil in there just at the right temperature. You're gonna wanna let it sit there and sizzle for about, 5 to 30 minutes. Make sure you're constantly flipping over the chicken. You don't wanna give one side more attention than the other. Oh, sometimes the steam really makes you sleepy.
Had to make sure that I took that off for a
What
moment.
you're looking for is that blue color right there. All right, then you can go ahead and turn it off. Ooh, yeah, that's steam, baby. Drain the unused right back into the NyQuil can, just like so.
Oh,
And boom,
gosh.
NyQuil chicken.
Well, you don't want to waste the ingredients, right? NyQuil chicken apparently is a thing now on TikTok. BE picked up on it too, just like you did, Drew, the first time you heard it. The guy says he uses 4/3 of a bottle, which
don't want to use about 4/3 of that bottle.
Feels like it might be just a little bit difficult to do. So I know you're questioning whether or not that's really NyQuil.
I don't think it is.
Really NyQuil because it's the generic brand.
I don't think it's generic brand. I think it's water
blue.
with food coloring.
No, it's you can tell you can tell by the viscosity of the liquid that it's not water. It's definitely not blue water. And the other thing about this video that made me crack up, we never see the guy eat it, thank gosh. But he uses a hair straightener in order to flip the chicken. Why not just use the hair straightener to cook the chicken, for crying out loud? But then again, this is somebody who is using Blue Death, Kroger or something brand NyQuil to cook chicken and using it as a sauce.
It's got to be a joke. I mean, realistically, how many people have recreated this? I know that the FDA has come out and said, please don't do this. And even NyQuil has made public statements of, please don't misuse our products like this. But let's be honest. If there are that many people out there doing it, Phil, can't we just let natural selection just take them? I mean, isn't it about time? If you're that dumb, I mean,
it's the same thing as like half the challenges I've heard on TikTok.
If you survive the Tide Pod stuff, you know what? Maybe whatever health problems you now have, you probably deserve because you're a dummy.
Yeah, let's not have a challenge running out onto a football field and taunting a giant linebacker, because somebody then would die exactly the same way as you might die from eating NyQuil chicken, which, by the way, looks absolutely nuclear.
It looks disgusting.
It looks like it'll make you glow for the remainder of your life.
The chicken is very undercooked. It's white. It does not look very appetizing whatsoever. Speaking of people running out on the field, did you see the Texas fan that tried to climb into Bevo's cage?
Yes.
Over the weekend? What is wrong with people? Why are we so dumb as a species now? Like, where did common sense go?
Well, apparently he thought he was the electric cowboy and didn't realize he was going to go about 3 or 4 hours later. Yes, Rod, seriously. Yes, JT, that's exactly what he cooked the thing in. It's called a NyQuil chicken challenge.
You can Google it.
On TikTok, which is the end of our society. Hog Noxious has given us a call. Speaking of the end of society, we got Hog Noxious.
Another Aggie joke for us today?
Which means we got an Aggie joke on hold. Hog Noxious, you have the stage. Waka, waka, waka.
Thank you so much. That guy talked about the steam from the NyQuil being the best part. Maybe he could just eat regular chicken and have a vaporizer, steam in front of him, blowing the NyQuil in his face. But anyway, 3 fellows doing construction work on scaffolding on the 20th floor of a building, O'Donnell, Gonzalez, and Giga Maggie. They were eating at lunch, and O'Donnell says, I got corned beef and cabbage again for lunch. I swear, if I get this one more time, I'm going to jump off this building. Gonzalez opened his lunchbox and says, burritos again. If I get burritos one more time, I'm going to jump too. And Giga Maggie opened his lunch and said, bologna sandwich. If I get a bologna sandwich one more time, I'm going to jump off this building. So the next day, O'Donnell opened his lunch box, saw corned beef and cabbage. Off the building he went. Gonzalez opened his lunch box. There's a burrito. He jumps off the building too. Giga Maggie opened his lunch. He saw a bologna sandwich. He jumped to his death as well. At the funeral, O'Donnell's wife was crying. She said, if I'd have known how really tired he was of corned beef and cabbage, I wouldn't have given it to him. And Gonzalez's wife was saying, I could have given him tacos. I could have given him enchiladas. I didn't realize he hated burritos so much. And then they turned and looked at Giga Maggie's wife. She says, I don't know why you're looking at me. He makes his own lunch.
Hog Noxious, who writes your material?
I'm going to get better. I swear,
we
Judge,
stumped
I'm
him.
going to
We
get
stumped
better.
him for a moment. No, so the next question would be, do you have very good Crimson Tide material for next week, or is it just for the Aggies?
No, it's pretty much just for the Aggies. It really, like I said, you don't have to make the Aggies look goofy. They do enough of that for themselves. But surely you don't want another week of material like this. Is that what you're asking for, Phil?
No, and it's a good thing that it's a short week with 2 days without a show for Mizzou week 2, because that's Thanksgiving, and there's plenty of jokes I'm sure you might have for the Missouri Tigers ready to go at any moment.
I got nothing
That
but
was a
hate
good
for
one,
those
though.
guys.
That one was good enough. That got a chuckle. I thought
Wasn't
there were some
terrible.
people that might have smiled. And JT texts in, he says he loves you. Which, if JT says that, he means it.
He's a very hard critic to please.
Quite the same
If,
way
if
about
he
the rest
liked
of us.
it, if he liked it, my job here is done. Thank you, gentlemen.
You got it. You got it. And BE felt left out because he texted in a Texas A&M Aggie joke, but I feel like we need to get it through censors before we can read it live on the air. You know BE. You can trust BE most of the time, but I don't feel like doing that quite yet. And, all right, so I was going to bring up one of two weird things. NyQuil chicken is what I brought up. I told Drew about the cheating scandal in chess during the commercial break. Let's just say we'll have to save that for another time.
It's a wowzer. It's a wowzer.
Oh, it sure is. It's one that'll make you sit up straight and take notice.
You'll go, oh, no.
Ooh, what is that?
Why?
My God. Move that rook 3 spots to the left. Ooh, yeah. That's what I need to do, right? Oh, my God. Chess has never been so exciting. Maybe you can get on BetUS.com and put down some money on chess. I don't know if they do that or not, but they should. Because at BetUS, they've got NFL, they got NBA, Major League Baseball, they got hockey, college football, you name it, they've got it. Maybe even chess. Plus, hundreds of new casino games, European slots. I'll say this cheating scandal out of chess sounds like something that could have been invented in Europe. They've got live dealers waiting for you at the tables. Go to BetUS.com or call 800-79-BET-US. Get into the action. BetUS, where the game begins. Buzz, buzz, buzz. We're going to wrap up halftime next with another reset.
Welcome then, my
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Razorback football is back, and you can call the Hogs with Coach Sam Pittman and the Razorbacks at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas for the 2022 Southwest Classic. Make plans now to catch the next installment of this historic rivalry between the Hogs and the Texas A&M Aggies inside the house at former Razorback Jerry Jones built Saturday, September 24th. Tickets to the Southwest Classic are on sale now by calling 1-800-982-HOGS or visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Behind Enemy Lines at the Southwest Classic in Dallas is presented by Century Bank of the Ozarks and Mountain Home. Local bankers making local decisions since 1894. And Ag Up Equipment with 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Find us at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer.
Bust it.
This here's a jam for all the fellas. Try to do what those ladies tell us. Get shot down cause you're overzealous. Play hard to get females get jealous. Okay, smarty, go to a party. Girls are scantily clad and showing body. A chick walks by, you wish you could sex her, but you're standing on the wall like you was Poindexter.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
And Sterling has done just that. Let's take Sterling's phone call here before we get into our last reset of the afternoon. Sterling, good to hear from you, man. What's up?
Well, I want to talk about baseball real quick. I know it's a big football week and big game this Saturday, and I'll touch on that tomorrow and the next day. But Aaron Judge, he's having a great season, one of the great seasons we've ever seen in Major League Baseball history. But Mike Greenberg is really wearing me out. He was going on and on about how we should be cutting in the programming. It should be as much to do as it was in '98. And then Bonds did his thing, and it's just not that way, and this and that. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a great season, one of the greatest seasons of all time. But it's not the record. And I'm sorry that those guys, and first off, when those guys were doing it went against the rules of baseball. Bonds never failed the test, nor did Clemens. And even now, if you get caught using performance-enhancing drugs, you get your suspension, and when your suspension up, you come back. What you accomplish is not thrown out of the record book. So I'm so tired of this dirty. That's not the real record, and they're dirty. They did it, and it counts. And if my team got beat out of a regular season game or a postseason game by these guys, they ain't giving that back. So, I mean, there's no reason to go on and on about this. Judge is having a great season. It should be celebrated. But to act like that, it should be treated like it's 1998 all over again. It's ridiculous. And that's all I have to say. I know you probably disagree.
No, Sterling, I agree with you, man. We talk so much about a sport in college football where they will vacate the wins of a team that was caught cheating, right? I mean, coaches have their wins vacated. We have award winners stripped of awards. I mean, Wendy's even makes a joke out of it now with Reggie Bush. You know, baseball's not that. NFL is not that. In professional sports, it's never been done that way, at least not that I know of. You know, and if the Astros aren't going to have the 2017 World Championship stripped from them, well, you're not going to strip the record from Barry Bonds, neither the single season or the career record. We have our own asterisks in our brains that we know. And if you're old enough, or let's just put it another way, you know, some 5-year-old right now that loves baseball, he's going to read enough. He's going to learn. He's going to learn about what happened in 2001, what happened in '98. just the same way that I learned at the age of 8 or 9 about what happened in 1961 and what happened in 1927, and you find the facts about that. No, I agree with you 100%. You can't erase the fact that these home runs were hit, just like you can't erase the World Championship from the Astros. I don't think it works that way in professional sports. Maybe in college sports it's a different thing. So if somebody wants to back up the NCAA for the first time ever on this show, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with that, and I just hate that people go on and on about it like it didn't happen. And at the time, they didn't break the rule at the time, and I mean, it never failed the test. I just said that once, but and then to come back and then they'll turn right around and defend Pete Rose when Pete Rose is definitely against the rules, and I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Don't get me wrong, but it was definitely against the rules. It's in every clubhouse in Major League Baseball. It's a cardinal sin of all of baseball. It's almost killed the sport. That's why it takes so much scrutiny, and to try to compare one to another, I think is crazy. But again, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame because that's not part of the punishment, disqualification from the Hall of Fame. It's a lifetime banishment from baseball, not banishment from the Hall. That's all I have to say, and we'll talk about those dynamic Razorbacks tomorrow. Y'all have a great day.
Well, we definitely will be. We definitely will be. To go on that point for a little bit here, everybody was hitting 50 home runs from 1995 through 2001 or 2. Like, everybody hit 50 home runs. For crying out loud, Brady Anderson did.
Orioles leadoff batter, Brady Anderson.
I don't think he ever hit more than 20 in a season.
No.
It's 50-something. The thing about what's happening now, Aaron Judge is 20 home runs ahead of everybody else. Mm-hmm. This is a singularly dominant season, the likes of which I don't think we've ever seen before. Even when Bonds was hitting 70 home runs, you still had guys that were in the 50s that got close to the 60s. That was an era. It's not just Bonds. It's not just McGuire. It's not just Sosa. It's not just Clemens. It was the sport. It were the pitchers. It was the hitters. I don't know what the percentage was, but it was a lot of them. It's a different game now. It's a different era. And Aaron Judge is head and shoulders and waist above everybody else as far as the numbers are concerned offensively. And it's not just because he's almost 6'9". I think we might have ran out of time to get our final reset here. So
I mean, it's fine. We just won't play the thing. Just do one of those.
What do you got tonight?
Well, I mean, it's baseball. You got other things on network TV, but the main thing that we're going to be watching tonight is exactly what we're talking about right now, and everyone out there can watch it. It will be on ESPN Plus, 6:05 first pitch, Yankees against the Pirates in the Bronx, to see if Aaron Judge can get to 61. I know I'm going to be watching it. If you're not going to watch that, I guess you can stay up late and finish the Cardinals game because they're out in San Diego at 8:40, and Dodgers Diamondbacks at 9:10. Outside of that, good interleague matchup between the Blue Jays and Phillies at 5:45. You do have Rays and Astros at 5:40 as well. We do have two games going on right now. Bottom of the 7th, the Nationals and Braves. Nationals lead that one, and it's the bottom of the 3rd in Milwaukee. It's a 0-0 score against the Brewers and the Mets.
Well, I just love for a fact that my Pirates aren't going to finish with the dead last record in the National League, but they can be the team that Judge hits his 61st and 62nd home runs, and they can be the same team that Pujols cracked 700 for, and that will be just fine with me. Won't get them the number 1 pick in the draft next year, but hey, they can finish dead last in 2023. And that's halftime for a Wednesday. Always appreciate you. Eastside Halftime Liquor Podcast coming up, thanks to Matty T. And Ruskin and Zach are with you for the next 4 hours, so have fun with that. For Drew and Maddie, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game.